All right, we're live. What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for the final live stream of the year on this channel. The end of the year channel review video and my end of the year Q&A as well. I had some people did submit some questions for this Q&A that I have written down in my notes, given some thoughts on them. Some of them I'm still not 100% sure what I want to say yet, but I'm still going to be answering your questions. I only got a little bit of a handful of them. I mean, I didn't get too many yet, but so I'd say to start off, I guess I'm just going to go back and just, talk about the channel itself from this year. And then I'll get to the questions, just to give some more time for, if anybody wants to, come in and leave me some questions as well. As always, again, the only thing I ask, again, you can ask me anything you want, wrestling related, baseball related, any of my video games, anything about, Christmas or nothing too personal, though. Just keep it appropriate, nothing too personal, though. I will gladly answer some related questions as well. But again, just keep it all appropriate, and then we should be fine. Nobody make the list. I had one person make the list. The only other time I've done a Q&A on his channel, and that was back in April for my 500 subscribers Q&A. But we should be good, and let's get right to it. So again, let's just go back in time to this year. I believe the first video I posted was, let me see, what date was this video posted? January 2nd this year. I posted the first video of the year because I went back and I wrote the video right after my end of the year review from last year. The first time I ever did it because last year I consider my breakthrough year. And this year, as I mentioned in the review from last year, that my goal for this year was to just try some new things, because again, as I always say, this channel, I do it just for fun. I don't do it for for money or anything. This is just like my hobby, pretty much. It's like my own little world I can go to and just throw in my ideas and just just play around with it and just have fun with it. And I've been able to do a lot of things, right wrestling type videos. I've done baseball videos. Again, I've done some video game Let's Plays. I've done a lot more this year. Had a few big ones I had to go through. And of course, also just become a little more engaging with my audience. I just in the comments section, I had some people who watch stuff, and then I actually gave in to doing some live streaming this year as well. I didn't really want to do any live streaming at first, though, because as you all know, in real life, I'm a videographer, and I wanted to, I also wanted this year just, bring some of my own tools that I use in real life for my real work into some of my videos on this channel. And I think I did, using my green screen, some better audio work as well. And I think for the most part, I succeeded there as well. And because I must have done something good, because I've made some good friends this year on YouTube. I've always been friends with Daniel Geyser, who was one of my good friends in real life. Gene from BSP Wrestling, Ragwan Kenobi. The four of us are called the Four Horsemen of the YWC, and we do our collaborations here, which I think I'll also share some of those collaborations as well. Who else have I reached out to and talked with? Nerd Coalition. Oh, of course, TN Coupon. I can't forget about him as well. He's someone who's always been, participating in a lot of my live streams as well. I appreciate the participation from him as well. Who else do we have? Recently, there's Lauren Hutton, who's been participating in some of my live streams as well. We got, video game wise, I have, Mountain D18, Ling Yang 203. The one that inspired me to do like the style of video game Let's Plays I do. Big Mac Davis, who has not been active since September 2016. Again, I hope he's doing all right. I always just look to see if he's ever coming back. Doesn't really look like he is. So again, if you're watching it, man, or somehow you're watching this video, which I don't think you really are because you don't really follow me, but it's okay. I still follow you. I just hope he's doing okay. Who else is doing here? Oh, Lightning Bolt Forever as well. I've become a huge fan of as well this year. And earlier in the year, I had a guy named Josh Eck message me asking for help to make his own custom Wolfenstein levels. Haven't heard from him in months, but again, hope he's doing good, and I hope you are as well. Having fun with making your Wolfenstein levels, just like I was. But Yeah, so yes, just about like the goals I had for this year as well, and I saved one set of questions for last because I'm going to end this video with just mentioning my goals for 2018 as well. So again, let's just go right back in time and just mention everything I've done this year. As I could say, it's been a pretty good year. Again, just trying some new things. And I did a lot this year on the channel, despite this being my first full year out in adulthood. Pretty much, you can say it that way. Because last year I graduated college. This year is my first full year with in my career. So I was able to do a lot more, and I think some of that was thanks to live streaming and just trying out some other things. Because if not, I probably would not have been quite as active as I was this year. But let's get right into it. So we start out the year with mainly some baseball highlight videos, since I was still in the midst of doing my my 10-year videos for my first 10 years of my custom baseball players, since that's just another hobby I like to do. Since I'm a huge baseball fan, I like making my own players. We had start off with I think it was the Brave one, Brave October start one for different Atlanta Braves, and then of course this year also a big hit for this channel that also helped this channel grow a little bit. I do have some people who do comment on those. Was my Turn Alert series, where I started doing a Turn Alert video for any time somebody in the WWE on main roster or NXT, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, whatever, they turn face or heel, and I think for the most part that turned out pretty good, honestly. I enjoyed just brief little videos. Most of them did hit about 100 views, which I was pretty pleased about that as well. So I had some good luck there. The first one we ended up doing was the Dolph Ziggler heel turn, which I thought was a good idea at first. And then to me, unfortunately, all it really did was just have us feel, exactly the way we should feel about Dolph. He hasn't really been booked too well in WWE, but so like, why not just make him just a guy legitimately give heel heat on him and not like him. Let me see here. Mostly there's a lot of that. What prize should Baron Corbin win first? And I printed this right, the Money in the Bank contract. He's only got that in U.S. title. Unfortunately, they cut off his momentum at SummerSlam. My Twitter account. I before this year, I had a Twitter account for, let me see here, about 5 years, and I just could never really get myself into tweeting because it was a private account, didn't really do much with it. And then finally one day, I remember I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like, "Oh, you could just open up your Twitter account and make it more public, and people can, notice more things." And that's when I thought, you know what? I have an idea. Since I'm trying to become a more engaging YouTuber, why don't I make my Twitter account public and just use it to platform my YouTube channel? And I did, and I haven't gained a heck of a lot of followers on Twitter. I've gained some, but still, I'm like, this is working out. I was happy with it, so I made my Twitter public. I did a lot of topic videos. See, Bauer Club, Yankees. Somebody responded to AJ Styles thinking he needs to be a better bad guy. Wow, my video about John Dowd's 4-homer game got 223 views for my baseball videos. Not too bad at all. That's probably because also John Dowd was one of the is the one guy in the MVP baseball mods that replaced Barry Bonds. For some reason, I forgot why. They from MVP baseball 2003 and 2004, 2005. For some reason, they weren't allowed to have Barry Bonds in the game. So instead, they had John Dowd replace him. So they'll do custom players. I'm like, why not give him a career as well? I think he has the most home runs through I think I'm on season 2016 for my custom baseball players. I think he has the most home runs by all active players with 472. That we had Mickey James returning as well. We had Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Ivan Rodriguez get into the Hall of Fame this year. I met AJ Styles. Jordana Ventura and Andy Marte passed away in the same day. Top 10 Topics are still around. My first video game Let's Play of the year was my fourth set of custom levels, Wolfenstein 3D Final Battle. That was a pretty good success as well. Those got a lot of views. And they're just, and a lot of my video game Let's Plays, seem to be getting ongoing, more and more views as well. Luke Harper Turn Alert, Seth Rollins injury. You see, a Road to WrestleMania Season 2 came back. Season 3 will be coming soon this year. A little different format though, due to my live streams as well, so I don't want to be too repetitive. But we got that. we had that this year. That was not as good as 2016, but it was still, you know, got a good amount of views. I was pleased with. And then February is when I first introduced live streaming. And I think it was because, let me see here, no, more match cards, turn alerts, Chris Jericho, the special friendship. Before I get to reason why I finally doing live streaming, not just because it would allow me to do more things on his channel, but let me see here. Yeah, the biggest project I did this year, well, non-wrestling wise, I felt was my All This and Wolf 3D Let's Play. Oh man, that was a tough one because nobody else on YouTube I'd seen had done a full Let's Play for All This and Wolf 3D. A couple people did 469 because 469 is just a complete different level for what it is. And also, what made this tough also is you can't open them in a map editor. So I literally had to, you know, just dig deep into all the levels, which for the most part wasn't as difficult to find all the secrets as I thought, but just dig deep and find all the secrets and whatnot. This way to do 100% Let's Play. I think it was only 3 levels where it was impossible for me to get all treasure, and one was all kills, but I still did all best I could. But that was a huge success. That was a killer of a project. But I'm glad I did it, and you know, I'm getting a ton of views on that stuff. You know, 360 for the first one, I heard in like the hundreds and 200s for most of the rest of them. I spread those out. More topic vids. My Sasha Banks fantasy prediction for her heel turn didn't come true. You see here more all this. Hopefully, I was supposed to see the spring into the beginning of the summer. Yeah. So the reason why I finally did decide to add a live stream to my channel was when I started doing videos with my Horseman brothers. We did a 4-part collaboration series this year. I think it was for WrestleMania, we did our top 10 favorite WrestleMania pay-per-views, top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches, top 10 favorite WrestleMania moments, and the top 10 favorite WrestleMania performers, which the performers one was done on my channel. I'll have to look at the list again. I'll look after I finished scrolling through and just talking about what we all did this year. It's more baseball and all this in Wolf 3D. The Hardy Boys returning, my live reaction from Daniel Guys' house. I did a couple unboxing videos this year as well. First one being the unboxing of the box of Jericho, where I got the list of Jericho and the list of Jericho t-shirt as well. I got that. I also read Daniel Bryan's documentary, My Improbable Journey to the Main Event of WrestleMania. So I did like a double review on that and the documentary on him. I had a little bit of an itch at times to start doing some more live streams for wrestling. So that's why when the Superstar Shakeup happened this year, I did 3 different live streams. I did one for the predictions for my Superstar Shakeup this year, which got a good amount of views, 672. And then I did one after Raw and SmackDown that week just to talk about who all switched over. And those got a good amount of views as well for one of my first few videos of you know, just talking live about, you know, wrestling, just reviewing stuff. So that was starting to give me a little bit of an itch to start doing more live streams. But I still that's not for me. Match cards for the most part until after SummerSlam got a lot of views on my channel. But after SummerSlam, not as good as I'd hoped for. But again, you know, as long as I just made this stuff, I'm happy with how it turned out. That's all I care about. Would be nice to get back into a couple thousand views for some of my videos for match cards. Yeah, in April, my goal this year was at least get to 500 subscribers. I had 374 at the beginning of the year. I got 500 by April. And we checked out the date for this video. April 17th, 2017. That's when I reached my 500 subscriber. Starting Marte's suspension. I also rebranded a little bit this year also since I started this channel back in 2012, which again was just, you know, just me just goofing around doing a bunch of stuff before I finally decided to add some more structure to this channel. I had just the wallpaper for Club Can't Handle Me as my profile picture here on YouTube, because, you know, when I started this channel, my favorite song was The Club Can't Handle Me, and people said, "Hey Mikey, you're the man," or whatever. So that's why I was like, you know what, that sounds pretty cool. The Club of the Man 1993. So then I realized, you know what, I want to try to make something that's like, you know, me, like not just, you know, just put like, you know, just some random wallpaper. So that's why I made my own logo, made my new you know, graphic and whatnot for my channel around the time where I got my 500 subscriber. And I also rebranded like the top 10 topics show. That way I can, you know, use no, I don't need an end of the year sale right now. Leave me alone. Shoot. So so that's when I also rebranded top 10 topics, and not only that, I just just have a new intro for it and whatnot. But I also started using my green screen using the graphics there now. That's why I don't do that. The top 10 topic videos live. Those are more of like instead of saying WrestleMania predictions and preview video, that like top 10 topics is my preview and predictions video. But I don't do that live because I don't have like a live streaming software yet that can use green screen effects and whatnot while I'm live. And that's why I wanted to use that, make it look like an actual talk show, like the graphics and whatnot in it. So that's like my biggest edits of the year probably, besides Road WrestleMania and whatnot. But top 10 topics definitely is there. That's why I rebranded there. See, I'm still going with all this in Wolf 3D. I spread that out. Let me see here. There's a bunch of baseball stuff and more turn alerts. Money in the Bank. I finally finished all this in Wolf 3D. When did I finish this? Yeah, the last one got 571 views for the finale of that one. June 11th is when I finally finished. I started probably in like March, I think, and I finally finished June 11th. Again, that was a pretty tough one. If you've never played all this in Wolf 3D, at least go back on my channel and watch Floor 69. That's a completely different game the whole way through. It's the strangest thing. I don't know what Thomas Wheeling and Chris Chokin were, just what they had in mind when they were making that level. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen in all the years I played Wolfenstein 3D. But there was that, 470 as well. And then after that was when I finally completed the team videos for my the first 10 years of my custom baseball players. Guys, it took me like over a year to get all those done because of how busy I was and other stuff I was trying to accomplish on the channel. But right after I finished all this in Wolf 3D was when I started trying to do the best of best videos, which those took a couple months. Like those were most of my summer. It took that. Let me see here. The turn alert for Big Cass, the Casshole. I started doing some video responses as well. The first one I did was my video response to DaClubOfDaMan, and Daniel Guys also did one as well. But my top 5 wrestlers who should turn babyface, who should turn heel. Did I leave a list in here of who I said should? No, I did not. I wish I could remember off the top of my head who I listed. Let's see if any of them actually did turn heel or face. Well, I think I mentioned Braun Strowman there. Yeah, he turned face. I remember that. Let me see here. More top 10 topics, twice as fries. I did a video on what's up with the tag team division, since we kept getting just a bunch of tag teams splitting. Austin Aries was released, just my mid summer predictions. And then in July was when I first announced I was going to be bringing live streams to this channel after Battleground. Again, besides just the live stuff I would do here and there just made my life easier. I mean, which it does. It made things easier. Again, if it wasn't for live streaming, I wouldn't be able to do as much on this channel. And adds much more structure to it as I was able to. So I thought, what? Screw it. And despite the fact that I wanted to do things to make myself as my own brand look different here on YouTube, like, what? Why not try doing Raw and SmackDown and NXT reviews? If it really does, cut in too much, the stuff that other stuff I do on this channel, like, top 10 topics, turn alerts, topic videos, then maybe I'll do just a trial run of the SummerSlam and see what it does. So that's when I finally started doing those. Talking Smack was canceled this year. I'm still mad about that. So yeah, I did my first live review for the July 24th, 2017 edition of Raw. First one got 80 views, not too bad. First SmackDown got 43 views, and then my first NXT only got 12. But I've had some views that got a good amount of views. Some that didn't get a good amount of views. You see here, David Tommy. I did another response to Robbie Kenobi, my good friend, of his current problem with the WWE product. That was a pretty good video. I like doing that. Some more reviews. Well, this is probably the second most views I have on any of my live reviews and whatnot was the Superstar. There was rumors of a post SummerSlam Superstar shakeup, and also rumors that it could be sending some people back to NXT, and I got 2.6K views on it, so I got about 2,500 views on that. I was surprised, even though this shakeup didn't happen, but my release of Darren Young, I know, I can tell from the thumbnail, did happen though. But I started to wrap up the baseball highlight videos for the time being, because I was finishing the 10-year videos. The response to Robbie and Dan's one more match video. One of my favorite thumbnails of the year, the one for my SummerSlam review with Baron Corbin and Baron Corbin failed to cash in Money in the Bank. I'm just like, that's just priceless. That just went downhill from there. I did a response to my Daniel Guys' top 5 opponents, John Cena on Raw, even though it's only resulted in just Roman Reigns. Well, he did face Braun Strowman in a match on Raw, but the next big one I'd say for John Cena is definitely Samoa Joe, and put him over nicely. Robbie did an NXT Hidden Gems takeover video right before SummerSlam as well. I think we're talking about doing one for WrestleMania this year, a WrestleMania Hidden Gems video. My first pay-per-view live review that I did on my channel, that is, was my SummerSlam review. I got about 1.6K views for that video. Oh wow, I got 8 likes and 5 dislikes on the video. I will be 100% honest, I was not happy with my SummerSlam live review because I felt that I was a little too negative in that video. I mean, yes, it wasn't a good show in my opinion. It was not that good of a show. The main event was awesome. The second half was a little bit better. The first half was just complete garbage. But I felt like I was a little too negative in that review. So let's point with that. Yeah, this is around time also where the amount of views on my match cards went down a little bit. I wasn't really getting as many views on my match cards. Like No Mercy only got like 450 views, which again, it's all right, but it's like match cards are things that really do draw me some viewers here. So we're seeing that a little disappointing. Yeah, then when I finally wrapped up my top 10 custom player videos throughout the summer, which was sometime in actually right at the end of August, I started my next Wolfenstein Let's Play, which is a game I've been wanting to play for so long. Coming of the Storm, I had a blast playing that game. It was awesome. I'm so glad I got to accomplish it on 100% of everything. Oh yeah, another unboxing video, my Aleister Black t-shirt. Love that shirt. September was also where I finally gave in and just realized, you know what, SmackDown's gone hill. I did my top 5 reasons why SmackDown Live has fallen. Let me see their match card. I did a 2-hour live stream on my channel with my good friend Rob Kenobi talking about the brand split 1 year later, our pros and cons about, which I feel it has given a lot of superstars opportunities on the main roster, but it has exposed some weaknesses as well in WWE. So some good, some bad. So I'm going to come to the Storm, some more reviews. My turn alert on Jack Gallagher, I think, was the one that got the most views for turn alert. 246. I was pretty happy, pretty thrilled. Not too bad. I thought Tommaso Ciampa or Big Casses would have gotten more views, but Jack Gallagher, 246 views. All right. Let me see here. I wrapped up Coming to the Storm. I did a couple more topic videos. Looks like why WWE heel champions are booked poorly. Jeff Hardy went out. If anybody was watching our year in review awards video on Daniel Guys' channel, I was talking about Alexa Bliss's face wherever Mickie James made that comment about it looks like how it was the night after No Mercy, and they were starting up a feud between Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, and Mickie made some comment like, I was doing greater things in the WWE Women's Division earlier than you were wearing a training bra. And then she said, it was Alexa, she says, it looks like you're doing pretty good the way it is right now or something like that. And I literally put Alexa's facial reaction to that comment as my thumbnail for that video. So I just wanted to, that's still one of my favorite thumbnails I've probably used all year, was that reaction right there. See, here's SmackDown Live reviews, more turn alerts. My TLC match card did pretty good. I got like 19,000 views on that. And that's also why I started doing the WrestleMania review series, which has slowly gotten more views than I started out with. I started that back in October or late September, whenever it was. Just an MLB predictions video. There's mainly a lot of that in October, and reviews. Nothing really too special here. TLC, War Games card. War Games card didn't get that many views, about 146 views. Oh well. The releases of Darren Young, Summer Rae, and Emma. I literally did that right outside my hotel when I was on vacation, right at the end of October. My live review on October 30th. Well, for the October 30th edition of Raw, I had to do that live like right before SmackDown tonight because I was out of town, so I literally did it while I was waiting for trick-or-treaters to come to my door because I was home alone. You see here, just WrestleMania review series. rest in peace, Roy Halladay. It's right, Roy Halladay passed away last month. It'll be end of the year awards. Shield T-shirt unboxing. That video got about almost 700 views so far. My Survivor Series live review is one that's got my most views of any live stream I've done, with a 2.9K views. So pretty sweet. A lot of turn alerts I remember at the end of November. I really knuckled down on the rest of my review series trying to get that done. Yes, I finished that like probably right at the end of November, right after Thanksgiving. And most of this month has been a lot of Wolfenstein Let's Plays. So I did the Christmas Wolf 3D, and Ariel says X Wolf 3D. Oh yeah, that's right. I also started doing my career heists. I've had a couple custom players who retired. Some of the ones who didn't really get that much experience in the majors. X Wolf 3D, Ariel, X Wolf 3D, Hitler Strikes Back. I breezed through that one pretty quickly. And then I had my little turn alert mania where I did like 5 turn alerts in one night, because those guys who were just like, I just didn't know if they were turning face or heel or not. So I'm just like, whatever. I feel it's time now, which was Sanity turning face, the Ascension turning face, the Usos turning face, Gable and Benjamin turning heel, and Dana Brooke turning face after just turning heel like a month earlier just for a brief little television interview with Asuka. And then now I'm currently on my Shabs 2000 Let's Play. I did a video about Shane McMahon, who I felt particularly has been a heel in 2017 as well. I wrote WrestleMania Season 3 trailer, match card for TakeOver Philadelphia. I did my top 10 favorites and least favorites in WWE. And then AJ Styles t-shirt revealings, since I already opened it up. And my bold predictions. And just mainly just been a lot of Shabs 2000 videos as I'm trying to get that game going, as I'm trying to pair up the pace for that as well. So yeah, I did a lot of stuff this year, guys. A ton of video game Let's Plays, a ton of topic videos, and also just to mention like my live streams as well I've done with my Horseman brothers. Let me go back in time here, because I believe I have all of them saved my favorites. What all did we do this year? We did the 30-man Royal Rumble predictions, the Royal Rumble memories. I think I was live with Dan for the TakeOver San Antonio review. I believe I was. See, we did a fantasy card prediction for WrestleMania 33. So first it was the top 10 favorite. Let me see, what was on Robbie's? Top 10 favorite WrestleMania matches was first on Robbie's channel. On Dan's, it was top 10 WrestleMania moments. Mine was top 10 WrestleMania performers. And then for Gene's, it was top 10 favorite WrestleMania pay-per-views. I did participate in Dan's TakeOver Orlando review. Rob Kenobi and I did a ladder Money in the Bank predictions video as well. We did our Horseman commentary of Raw is Dead. That was a fun live stream to do as well, just a bull crap on Raw. Raw did pick up a little bit this year. I was with Dan in his review for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. We did a Survivor Series fantasy match card, and then we did a video on NXT call-ups, who succeeded, who didn't. I also participated with Robbie for his War Games predictions video. And I also was on Dan's Clash of Champions review and the 2017 End of Year Awards video. Overall, good stuff. Busy year on the channel as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything I did on the channel this year, pretty much. Just kept it going pretty busy. You got a screenshot on Snapchat, sweet. So again, despite me being a lot busier, in my personal life this year with my career picking up, I'll talk about a little bit about like my goals for that as far as it goes. When I answered the final question in this review, which was asked by my good friend Tia Couponer, I'll talk about a little bit about that as well. But yeah, I accomplished a lot this year on this channel, and I just don't want to give all credit to myself. I just want to thank you for all your support, my supporters as well out there, who just made it possible to have this this channel be a lot more fun, and not be afraid to add some more structure to this channel, not just make this about this just go on there and do whatever the heck I want, like add a little bit of structure. Now I do live reviews every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night after Raw and SmackDown, or I do certain things at certain times, like throughout the months and whatnot. It's just something that I found enjoyment of doing it, and then the feedback I get from some of my more loyal subscribers is just awesome. I can't thank them enough for it. So with that being said, I haven't really had anybody in the live chat yet, which is completely okay. Let's just get to the questions I was left by some of my friends. Not too many of them. I only had about 10 questions I have to be answered right now, which that's completely okay. And then we'll just go through there. If anybody else joins in, asks any questions in the live chat, I'll gladly answer those as well. So let's get right into it. So we'll start off with a question from my good friend Daniel Geiza. He asked me, what is your favorite Christmas movie? My favorite Christmas movie? That's a pretty darn tough one. Well, you can't go wrong with the classic of A Christmas Story. You know, I've seen that video since I was in 4th grade every single year. I watched it at least like once or twice, like whole way through. So I'll see parts of it as well from the 24-hour version of A Christmas Story on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But sometimes I don't get to watch the whole thing at once. But I do have it on DVD though, so I do make sure, like, you know, if I don't get to watch the whole thing, I sit down and just watch and enjoy it, because that's just an instant classic. What other Christmas movies do I like? I love, well, the 4 Home Alones. I'm a huge fan of Home Alone. You know, first one I think is the best one. Second one I like, but I think I like the traps a little bit better than the first one. But the whole story itself of the second one, I think I'd like the first one a little bit better as far as that goes, because that one just set the stage and it's clear the kid is home alone. In the second one, yes, he's alone, but he's lost in New York, but it just takes things to another extreme level of him. I still think the first one's the best one. The third one, now, it's a new, you know, family, you know, but the concept's kind of the same. You know, the kid's sick with chicken pox, home alone, and it gets a little more extreme because you have a bunch of, you know, people working for a North Korean terrorist organization coming after him, trying to get some type of microchip they're trying to use for some, you know, secret dangerous projects. If that was its own franchise, I'd say that would be I still consider that a pretty good movie. But just the fact that it's just a part of the Home Alone franchise, it's like, it's not the same thing. You can't just, you know, try to duplicate Kevin McAllister's world with some other little kid. I mean, the movie itself, if you have it just by itself, it's all right. But I mean, I like some of the traps in that video that are quite, you know, strange and creative, but they're still fun. But again, just the fact that this is just another Home Alone franchise video that's just like completely off topic what the series really already was, kind of doesn't, you know, like weigh in well on a lot of people. The fourth one, though, I'll watch it, but it's complete garbage. The fourth one is just a complete insult to the whole franchise. You have Kevin, who is the same age as he was in Home Alone 2. He has a couple less siblings. His parents are all of a sudden getting divorced. And then you have Marv return, who's being played by French Stewart, who played Inspector Gadget in Inspector Gadget 2. It's just like when I first saw that in 4th grade, I'm just like, hey, you know, that's Inspector Gadget. You know, I watch like a big hero. Now all of a sudden be like, you know, a big villain or whatnot. And I couldn't take him seriously as a villain. And he's no Marv Merchants. I heard they did try to get I forgot the reason why they didn't write Joe Pesci's character back into that one, but I did hear that, you know, they did ask Daniel Stern to come back to play Marv, but he said no, this is a complete insult. That's why they recasted him as French Stewart. But he was not a good, like, you know, like person to, you know, like replace Daniel Stern as well. And then the biggest thing also, the kid was never home alone. The butler was always there. The maid was always there. The kid wasn't home alone. It was just a very messed up video, which, yeah, had some moments that gave me giggles. I won't deny it. But still, that one was just complete garbage. And I heard rumors that they literally were going to have a series made based on that cast. But the movie got such bad reviews that they didn't do it. Thank goodness. It just didn't do it. But I say definitely the first 2 Home Alones definitely are probably up there as well. What are Christmas? I mean, I watch, you know, different, you know, the cartoon Christmas specials all the time. You know, Rudolph, Frosty, the Grinch. I don't like the movie The Grinch, but I like the cartoon The Grinch. 2 Santa Claus. Well, there's 3 the Santa Clauses with Tim Allen in there. I've seen the first one. I've never seen the third one, but a lot of people say don't waste your time on it. So I may not ever check out. I may check out just for the heck of it, but yeah, I've never seen Santa Claus 3. It's about it. So I'd say maybe my number 1 favorite would be The Christmas Story. But, you know, gotta give credit to also, you know, Home Alone, Santa Claus, any of like the Christmas, cartoons, or like stuff like Santa Claus is coming to town, like the classics there. Your Santa Claus. Again, all the Rudolph ones are classic. The one Frosty one that my mom and I cannot stand is the one Frosty Returns, where that's the Summer Wheeze, and John Goodman played Sully in Monsters Incorporated. That he played Frosty in that one. I don't know why that one was just too corny and goofy for us. We don't really like that one. But those were a bunch of good stuff. There's a good question, Dan. Let's move on to my 5 questions from my good friend, Robbie One Kenobi. Thank you, Robbie, as well, who always, can appear in my live chat and give me some good laughs sometimes as well with some of the comments he made. His first question was, would you rather walk with Elias or eat a Ruby Riot ice cream bar? And that Ruby Riot ice cream bar has just one T on it, guys. What would I rather do? Walk with Elias? Well, the tough thing is Elias is from Pittsburgh, and I'm from Pittsburgh. So I got to show support to him as well. But depending on what kind of type of ice cream it is, I may want some Ruby Riot ice cream bars as well. So let me see. What would I rather have? I mean, I'm a decent singer, but I'm not, amazing. I'll go the ice cream. I'll give it to the Ruby Riot ice cream bars. I'll take the ice cream bars. Number 2, which of your favorite matches from 2017 would you love to go back in time and witness in person if you could? That's a good one. See, my match of the year with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, that was good. That was my match of the year. John Cena and AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble was awesome. The Elimination Chamber match was awesome as well. I'm stuck between 2, and they're both tag matches. To me, it would either be the triple threat elimination match at TakeOver Orlando between AOP, DIY, and the Revival, because I just remember, if anything, I felt that may have been my match of the year, like the tag match of the year, and then just regular one-on-one match or non-tag match of the year. But that could have been my match of the year also. I felt, because I just remember just how much amazing stuff was in that match. It's a story told, mentioning how there's a difference between just having just a tag team with just a bunch of big guys and just having like a bunch of big guys, but making their opponents look so great as well and making them look legitimate big guys who cannot be beaten. And that's what happened in that match. AOP, every time DIY faced AOP, they always pushed them, making it look like they had a chance to beat them, come up a little bit short each time. It was all realistic and felt good. They'd never beaten the Revival before, so I do like how they were the last to be eliminated as well. And then, DIY and the Revival, team to take out AOP, them firing all their best shots. They go as far as to doing double submissions on both of them. I just remember that was one match where I was on my toes and just walking around, I could not sit down from the excitement from that match. I think it'd be either that one or the main event TakeOver Chicago with Johnny Gargano, DIY taking on AOP in that ladder match, specifically just for what happened after the match with the long predicted turn from Tommaso Ciampa. Just the way that was probably one of the better structured turns you ever had, and the match made you to feel as well for the friendship as well. How well Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano work together as best friends. Even the moment I remember specifically was a moment where AOP was about to, smash Tommaso Ciampa with the ladder. Johnny Gargano literally, pushed Ciampa out of the way and took the shot in 7. He took the bullet for him. That was true friendship right there. And it made that turn, which with that match being the main event, I'm like, it's happening tonight. It's got to be happening tonight. And I didn't think it was going to happen at first. I just liked the way, they made it like the show was ending, which NXT did a couple times. Yeah, the show was going to end, and then all of a sudden something else happened. And then Ciampa just, saying the thing of, I thought first he said, good job, and then saying in there, but Ciampa said, this wasn't our moment, it's mine. And I remember, you watch in slow motion, right before, Ciampa turns and smashes him into the stage, you have Johnny Gargano with this most confused look on his face, what? I just confused as heck. Just confused as heck for what he just said in that split second, and that turn, just the roller coaster ride leading to that turn. I would have loved to have experienced that in person as well, because that was a well done heel turn from that night. So I'd say either the triple threat match at TakeOver Orlando, or the ladder match main event at TakeOver Chicago. I'd say another honorable mention would be the main event of this past week's episode of NXT, the Fatal 4-Way. Just, another underdog character in Johnny Gargano, who's built up well as just an underdog, who lost, but he lost with a purpose. Made me really feel for him. Really made me want to see him, get his comeuppance and finally defeat Andrade Cien Almas, and this time take away his NXT championship, which I hope he does at TakeOver Philadelphia. It was just, the emotions were there and everything, and it just made me really feel for the wrestlers. And that's what I like when feuds like, Daniel Bryan's rise to the top, or even Seth Rollins versus Triple H, and it's only with Johnny Gargano. underdogs, just working their rear ends off to get to the top, because that's just how I've always been my whole life. I mean, I've always considered myself an underdog because, I'm a very, good at what I do. I believe I am. I'm not, the best. I'm not, Grammy Award winning what I do, I feel, or anything like that. But, I always work my rear end off, and I do get good results in the ends when things finally, do come out and play pretty much. But I guess that's why I really feel for those guys whenever I watch, wrestling. That's what really got me attached to wrestling. Again, that's why I'm a huge fan of Daniel Bryan. So I would say that's an honorable mention, the Fatal 4-Way from number one contenders match this week of NXT. But I think the number one I got to go with is that triple threat at TakeOver Orlando. That was the one match I just remember, I was just on my feet all the time. I'm like, oh my god, I was going nuts for that whole match, pretty much. That, the ladder match TakeOver Chicago, or the Fatal 4-Way from this past week on NXT. All NXT matches, no surprise there. But that was a good question, Robbie. Robbie's third question was, if you could spend a day with Triple H down at NXT and ask him one question, what would you ask? Maybe just, the creative mindset, asking about his creative mindset that he has, since, he does a really good job with, developing these characters. And despite the fact that they go to the main roster and Vince McMahon has a completely different view for what he sees them as, and may, leave them something different, and their booking goes badly, and then their NXT legacy seems to go missing after a while. Yeah, I would say I just wanted to see, Triple H does a good job of just bringing out the best in characters. I want to know, what's your creative process? How do you look at a different wrestler and you're able to brainstorm these characters? I mean, yes, I'm sure the wrestlers themselves come in and they have ideas as well that help them, but what is, what you look for, and what's your game plan when trying to build a new star, whether it's, Seth Rollins or Tyler Breeze or Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, who else? Bayley, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, how do you, express that news to, people, or how do you, just, work with them? What is any process you have? I'd be interested to see that as well, especially, again, someday, if I ever get more further in my career and I want to, get into, writing sitcoms or whatnot, which, probably not going to really do. I just want to stick to, promotional and event videography and whatnot for a career. But I've ever had to, I'm sure somebody, either way, I learned how to, brainstorm a little bit more for ideas for a video, besides just taking in, like what the client wants and whatnot. So I would say, I would definitely, ask about, brainstorming questions and whatnot. That's a good question. Number 4, do you see Zelina Vega becoming NXT Women's Champion in 2018? Well, I would like to see Zelina Vega be a legit wrestler. She's shown she can wrestle. She's done hurricanranas on guys like Roderick Strong. She tried doing a crossbody on Drew McIntyre. The woman is short as heck. Hold on, let me see here, dude. Let me look up Zelina Vega, see how tall she is. I can't remember how tall she is. I saw it one time. Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega. She's only 5'1". Okay, yeah. Zelina Vega is 5'1". I think, the way Jolie Wood can wrestle, I would love to see her be a champion and be a wrestler. As far as an NXT Women's Champion, though, I'm not too sure. I mean, she could face Ember Moon for the title at NXT TakeOver Orlando, maybe. That could be another option instead of, if they want to get more time for Kairi Sane to build up, or if she's considered a feud with Shayna Baszler. But I do see Andrade Cien Almas being called up this year after WrestleMania. I do think that's going to happen. So, or even before so, because if the prediction I have is for Johnny Gargano to win the title, and then probably Almas will lose his rematch before Takeover New Orleans. I want to see Gargano and Ciampa have the title because there's nothing going to be anything bigger than that match at Takeover New Orleans. So, if Andrade Cien Almas goes up to the main roster, I would like to see Zelina Vega go up with him. So maybe, yes, I would like to see her be a champion. Maybe sometime later in 2018. I mean, I predicted her to go to SmackDown Live. Maybe Almas go to SmackDown Live in my bold predictions video. Maybe Zelina Vega will, be SmackDown Live Women's Champion sometime this year. But if she stays in NXT, then yes. But I don't. With my prediction, I would rather see her up on the main roster. I think Almas will be ready for the main roster as well. So, yes, I would still like to see her as a champion on any brand, though, as well. It's a good question, Robbie. And question number 5 is a little bit of a personal question. I actually do like this question. What do you enjoy most about photography and videography? Since in real life I am a real life videographer. Well, I'll do photo. I just do video. Some people have said something to me about doing photo, which, I mean, I did take an intro to photo class in college. I had to, though, because I had to take intro classes for, that's for video, but for photo and graphic design and web design as well. I'm pretty sure, I do understand, subject matter and whatnot with taking photos and such. But I feel like editing photos is different than editing videos. So I feel like if I would do photography, I'd have to learn how to edit, do some photo retouch. I mean, I did take a Photoshop class also, but I feel like I need more practice than just that in order to do photography. But what draws me to just that type of media as well. I mean, growing up, I was always fascinated by video cameras and how I could you can make things you imagine into real life things you can go back and watch over and over again, which is why when I was little, I used to take the little VCR camera that we had here, just play around, make goofy little home videos just for the heck of it. I know sometimes whenever my dad started actually letting me use the camera myself, I did get a little bit annoying with it. I think sometime I remember I was on film. My cousin was sleeping over. I kept trying to get a video of my sister, my cousin, doing stupid things for no reason whatsoever. I'm leave us alone. It's I want to do this. And then for a half an hour, I just filmed my kitchen, just nothing. But the video camera died when I was 16 years old, and I was making a video for my geometry class, and that's when I started learning about some more digital stuff through my good friend Luke, who I've been best friends with since I was sophomore. We were sophomores in high school. Who was also pushed me to explore the video field, because whenever we did do some videos together, he got me into joining the film crew in high school, and I remember the first video that I edited was for the girls volleyball senior night. A lot of people kept telling me I did a good job, and Luke was like, "Do you ever think about doing a career in multimedia?" I'm like, "That's a hobby for me." Nah, that's not it, because I actually wanted to go to school for math, because I was when I got to pre-calc and whatnot, I wasn't as good with math as I thought. I mean, I was still good, but not as good as I was in algebra 1, geometry, and algebra 2 and whatnot. But I wanted to. My dream, which is what I do for a hobby still, is I wanted to be a baseball sports statistician. That was my dream at the time. But I knew that, well, what if that doesn't work out? Where else do I want to go with this major? So that's when that's why I went into school undecided with because I was looking into maybe being a math major or a media arts major. And then finally, after getting my feet wet my first semester in college, I thought about more. What? I have more avenues if I go down video. So I'll keep doing my hobby with statistics. But again, if I didn't go there, where else would be going? I'd be screwed. I'd be just wasting all the money for no reason. It's not going where I want to go in my career. So that's when I got into video as well. And then I took all my video classes and other media classes I had to take. Some art classes I didn't really enjoy, but I took all those classes. I did 2 internships in college. I did one with a freelancer that I still go back to here and there and help him out with some stuff as well, because he does all different videos, promotional type videos, commercials. He does some weddings as well, not as many as he used to, but now he sets some money to hire me back once in the blue moon to help him edit weddings, since I mainly do weddings now. And then I also interned at a marketing company who was looking for people just to make some media for their new website as well. And I also did a documentary on the history of the company for a school project there. And then and then even through there, I had a connection. I had one of the workers there whose daughter got married this year, and they invited me to come to the reception, just talk to the people I worked with there, and just film some stuff there as well. And they gave me the footage from the ceremony, which was on your side of the country in Jamaica, and I got to edit that, so connections do come good with through that. But yeah, just again, as I say before, I feel just I'm more of a visual person. Like, I'm not as much of an audio person. I'm more visual. So like I feel like that also played an effect. And I just think of a lot of creative things and just putting it live. And I've been fortunate, with the job that I have right now, I've been able to, they have stuff that they want me to have in the videos, like they certain styles, like speed up, slow down shots and whatnot, and just quick cuts and whatnot. This is mostly highlight style, but I've been allowed to add my own creativity in there as well. I add some more audio moments in there that was in videos I'd seen before when I first started working for this company. I add like a snapshot effect also in there as well. So I guess I still I'm allowed to still play around with my own creativity and just help myself to think a little more critically and to think a little more creatively as well, which is something that I believe helps, and then helps me to with my channel, what I do here, just for the fun of it. So that's I think what's really why I enjoyed the most about media. So thank you for the questions, Robbie. That was really good questions. Oh, Robbie, just showing up. If I had a dime for every time I had a Ruby Riot ice cream bar, I'd have 0 dimes. The funny thing was, I actually was just watching that promo the other day on YouTube. The promo with Enzo, calling Big Cass the legit. Calling Cass a casshole at the end of that promo. I literally just watched that promo the other day. It's funny that you just mentioned it. But yes, Robbie, thank you for the questions again. So let's move on to the final 4 questions here. Unless if anybody else appears in the live chat has any more questions for me. The last 4 questions I have is for my good friend TN Couponer, which his question is how I wanted to really wrap up this video. Anyways, my goals for 2018 as far as for the channel, talk a little bit about what I'm trying to do as well for outside this channel as well. So let me see here. Tia Couponer asks me first, what is your favorite Christmas memory? Favorite Christmas memory? Besides the fact that me being a little kid, I used to always wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning and could not go back to sleep. And I'd be excited. And it came to a point where my parents okay, we're not getting up any earlier than this time. Like I'd be like, okay, we get up at 6 o'clock, fine. So like I'd be getting up at 6 o'clock, I'd be like sitting or I'd be up like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when the most I really had was a Game Boy Advance, but my parents didn't want me playing little electronic stuff past like certain times when I was younger, just that way I wouldn't stay up all night, or I wouldn't be too disruptive. Now we have headphones and whatnot, and it's not an issue at all. But I just remember like sitting out in the hallway, or trying to wake up my sister, and she'd be like, "Mikey, go back to bed, leave me alone." I'll answer your question in a second, Robbie. Your new question you left me. But I just remember, just knowing her, and I remember one year we were both up at like 6 o'clock. We were like really excited. We wanted to go downstairs and open up our presents. So we're probably like 8 or 9 years old, and we go into my parents' room to wake them up. And it was like 6 o'clock. Like, at 6 o'clock, we wake up, and they're like, "Go back to bed. We want to sleep." So we literally sat at the top of our stairs for that whole hour and just moaned, like complete spoiled little kids, just like begging, we want our presents, whatnot. But the thing though, besides something like that, I say probably Christmas of 2009 was probably my favorite Christmas. That's where I got my first cell phone. That was the year I got into social media, Facebook. Well, actually, my only social media account at the time was Facebook. I made my Twitter in senior year, but again, I didn't really do much of it until this year. But I got my first phone when I was 16. For Christmas that year. So I think that was my favorite, because I wasn't expecting it. I never thought I was going to get a cell phone ever. If anything, I thought it was some little cheap looking little phone. I just remember opening up the gifts. There was like 3 gifts left. There was like one for my dad, one for my sister, and one for me. And I kept saying, "Dad, you can open up yours first." Like, "No, you guys go ahead. Which his was actually, because that was before then we had just one cell phone. That we took whenever we went out, and that was when everybody was getting cell phones. My dad knew he was getting a cell phone. He got the one he didn't want because it was color wise. But I just remember opening up. I'm like, it's a shoebox. I have one of these right upstairs. I'm like, what the heck of the internet? Opened it up and I saw it was an NV3, and I'm like, oh my goodness! And I freaked out. I was excited. But yeah, I think that was probably my favorite Christmas, because that's probably one of the biggest things I ever got for Christmas. Robbie's asking the question. I have another question, Mike. Who in their right mind thought adding a second T to Ruby Riot's name was marketable? Either Vince McMahon or Kevin Dunn. Or, since she's on the show where the head writer is Road Dogg, who's on the list for, again, blocking our good friend Daniel Gaiza, could be him as well. So one of them, a bunch of stupid idiots for, just adding a second T for no reason whatsoever to a squad that, just is literally just, again, despite me being a fan of all three of those wrestlers, is just literally copying exactly what Absolution's doing, but they're just making a statement. It's lazy booking, and it makes no sense. There's three purebred baby faces that, okay, maybe Liv Morgan I could have seen turning heel, as I keep saying. Liv Morgan's one that I could have been all right with turning heel, bring up to the main roster and turning heel, pulling off Carmella pretty much. But Ruby Riott was a much good developed baby face. Sarah Logan, yeah, she didn't do as much on NXT as the others, but still, you could have brought her up as a baby face as well. They just bring all these baby faces up, and they turn them heel, and they put them into a stable has no direction at all, other than the fact that we're just here to make a statement. Why though? Why are you just nice, easy going? I should say easy going, but just more like baby face rolls down NXT. All of a sudden, you want to come up here and just cause carnage on the main roster. It just makes no sense at all. At least Absolution has Paige and Sonya, despite Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose probably not being as ready as Ruby Riott was or whatever. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose were up there for at least a good reason, because Paige is trying to prove, hey, I'm back, and I'm the one who really started this whole women's revolution thing. Before there was this, there was me, and pretty much that all makes sense, but not the Riot Squad. Let me see here. Robbie said, I haven't seen your NXT TakeOver printed card, but based on the Fatal 4-Way, do you think Killian Dane facing Lars Sullivan in Philadelphia? I didn't. My Fatal 4, my TakeOver Philly cards might not be too accurate, because I didn't think they were going to do Aleister Black versus Adam Cole again, because they just did it for a qualifying match. That's why I thought they'd do maybe Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan. But it looks like they're going to be with Aleister Black and Adam Cole, which I'm completely cool with. I actually wouldn't mind seeing that. That'd be a pretty good big man match to put them both over. They're both pretty agile the way it is. They both use the momentum going. So yeah, sure. I'll take Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan as well. I think I also have on my card, who was that? I'm trying to think who I had. Gargano and Almas. I got that. I had the tag titles being defended with Sandy and Undisputed Era, which I think maybe being turned into triple threat matches. They are having that rematch in 2 weeks, and AOP seems to be not out of the title picture quite yet. So it probably will be in a triple threat match at TakeOver Philadelphia now, I see happening. Who else I have? I had Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan. Wait, we start over. NXT Championship, Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon for the Women's Championship. Tag title match, Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black. I think the fifth match I predicted was Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream. Two guys I think deserve spots on the card as well. I don't know how to do a story though at this point, but involving them. But I think that'd be a pretty good match. I like to see it take over Philadelphia. But what I really want to see though is this is give the Velveteen Dream a good another good match I'd like to see is have Velveteen Dream come back, because he was supposed to be in the match against Cassius Ohno when Johnny Gargano replaced him and went all the way to get the number one contendership. Have Velveteen Dream come back saying he should have been in his spot, and I'd like to see Gargano face him sometime before TakeOver Philadelphia. Or if they want to do another second option, would be him and Lars Sullivan. I don't know why. I feel like Lars Sullivan would be big kind of saying you're underrated and you're overrated and whatnot. You should not have gotten this opportunity anyways. And I never got pinned, so I want to prove myself against you or something like that. Some other just match to really just give that one last little boost to Gargano is, underdog momentum, I'd say. We see it. Robbie also says, dude, until we did our end of the year awards, I totally forgot about the pointless Cedric Alexander, Alicia Fox, Noam Dar love triangle. Totally wastes the great talent like Cedric Alexander. Indeed, which, I mean, just throughout the year, just left notes and stuff to be possible. But that feud was just my killer for 205 Live right there. And especially Alicia Fox. Since when is Alicia Fox a big shot on the main roster? You had, they bring Trish Stratus and Lita. Yes, I get it for them. AJ Lee was awesome in playing that role. But Alicia Fox, like, why? Why have I Alicia Fox isn't that popular to begin with, honestly, in my honest opinion. But a good question there, Robbie, as well. Getting back to TN Couponers questions. Questions number 2 and 3. If you have dinner with any 4 people, dead or alive, who would you choose and why? I'm trying to think, because it would depend if I could have them all together with all 4 of them at once, or if if I had them separate. I'm trying to think of people who would mesh together. I'd say maybe just for the 4 people together, probably my Horseman brothers. Probably, me and Dan, Gene, Robbie, even you as well, Josh, T and Couponer. I'd say, the 4 of us, 5 of us together, we could just sit down and have a good chat. Those are the ones I can think off the top of my head that I think would mesh really well together. I'd say, it would be 3, maybe all 3 members of the Shield I'd like to eat dinner together. Let me see here, as far as any baseball players, Ichiro Suzuki's my favorite baseball player, definitely him. Giancarlo Stanton. Actually, another good group would be it's called members of the Houston Astros, like George Springer, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and who's another good young guy I could add to this list? Maybe AJ Hinch, also manager of the Astros, also just the story about how they just rebuild big time over the past 3 or 4 years and becoming World Series champions, maybe from their young talent, having some guys like Altuve, Correa, and Springer were guys that grown up with the Astros, rebuilding and whatnot. Because I'm a huge baseball fan, so I would like to maybe talk with them. See anybody dead who I'd like to have dinner with? I mean, one person definitely on the top of my head is my grandfather, my dad's side of the family. I never got to meet him. He passed away about 7 years before I was born. Who else would I like to eat dinner with? I mean, I met Daniel Bryan this year. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, I'll have dinner with them too. Who else? Maybe Seth Rollins and Cesaro, who had indies careers together, just being able to chat with them about their indie careers as well. Table 4, only WWE Network. And yes, Vince loves the Scottish accent for the way Darth said Alicia Fox's name. But yeah, I mean, those are definitely some. Those definitely be some of my choice. I'd say for who I want to have dinner with is probably all those people. Anybody else who I'd like to have dinner with? Chris Jericho would be awesome. Actually, I gotta share this story really quick, because I had this really weird dream last night. I had this dream that it was one of those dreams where it's like I wanted to see what happened at the end, but I woke up before it happened. I rarely would ever go all out like this to try to do something like this. But I had this dream that I was at some big event at some big banquet hall or whatnot. But there was some rule there was you had to, have a pass to get into the reception hall. So I had to go to the bathroom. I'm walking out, and then some security guard standing there screaming at me, saying you have to have a pass in order to get in there. It's obviously I do if I got in there, but I left my wallet in the reception hall, and I couldn't get back in because the door was locked. And plus, the guy wouldn't let me go back in. So he didn't believe me. But it's I just came outside of there. You really think, I wouldn't have gotten in there if I didn't have one to begin with. It was just so stupid. So I remember I told this guy off, which actually I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman because, this is the way that they looked, I remember. So I went to go find a manager. And the only people I could find that could help me find a manager was a bunch of people. There was a woman and a specific person just sitting there. I don't know who the woman was, but the man was Chris Jericho. For some reason, giving out chicken sandwiches. I don't know what it was, but I just remember walking up to them and asking them, "Hey, do you guys know where the manager is?" Because your security guard being an idiot over there. So I think it was Jericho was about to take me to go find the manager, and literally I woke up right before I could find out what happened. It's like I would have wanted to see, what would have happened, if Jericho would put the guy on the list, or if he would have taken my side, or if I would have gotten like my comeuppance on whatnot. It was just one of those dreams where it was just like, it was strange. I don't know where it came from, but it just happened. But I had to share that story really quick there as well. But yeah, that was a good question about who I'd want to have dinner with. Robbie's like, dinner with Alicia Fox. No, thank you. No, thank you. Actually, one more. Let's have dinner with, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali. How about Jack Gallagher? And shoot, one more cruiserweight. Who would it be? How about Drew Gulak? We'll have them come by and just, Drew Gulak can have a PowerPoint presentation, and we can talk about ways to, make 205 Live better and what their visions are as well. So how about that? We'll do those 4 cruiserweights as well for that. Yeah, so that's it for question number 2 from T and Coupon. Question number 3. What would you like to see WWE do in 2018? Well, I'd like to see them be a little more consistent with their storylines, develop some new talents, give guys like, Finn Balor a chance, put the world title on Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe. I'd like to see Adam Cole become NXT champion. That way have the Undisputed Era fully take over NXT. And, because the bar is just set really high for him right now. And, sometimes it could be a bad thing. But, so far they've done a good job as, setting the bar high and making this team look like a legitimate, undisputed threat in the business. So I would say put the title on Adam Cole, probably maybe later in the year, like SummerSlam or whatnot. Or that's right, there is a pay-per-view takeover in Chicago again this year for takeover. But I'd say probably by SummerSlam. I think by then the whole thing with Gargano and Ciampa is going to be done. By then, so maybe have Adam Cole win the NXT championship as well. The Street Profits, I'd like to see them become NXT Tag Team champions by the end of the year as well. Let me see. I want to see Nakamura and AJ Styles main event WrestleMania. If Roman Reigns does win the Universal Championship, I'd like to see him at least be booked really well as Universal Champion. Because when they do book him well as a good champion, I have no issue with him. I thought, despite the build for Roman Reigns chasing after a title, is when I feel like fans really crap on him. But I feel like, my own opinion, except for his U.S. title run, when he's been champion, he's done pretty good as champion. I felt for the most part. So I wouldn't mind him. If he does win the Universal title, at least, making his opponents like AJ Styles, he did look strong. He made Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose look good when the Shield feuded over the title in 2016. So I would see that as well. I would like to see, cruiserweights get more opportunities besides just the cruiserweight division as well, because without them being, there's guys like, Cedric Alexander, we discussed how many times, Robbie, where they can that they can be more than just cruiserweights, and they can be like a world champion or mid-card title run. I like to see them get more opportunities besides just the cruiserweight division itself, or the Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher, if they're forming this alliance, maybe it's, what's the point of them being an alliance if they're not really doing anything besides just, being with Kalisto, whatever they're doing right now, from what I've seen from them, those two. I don't watch 205 Live. I've seen the past few times I've checked out the results, it's been saying stuff with them and Kalisto. So why not make Gallagher and Kendrick like a tag team or something after the Raw tag titles or something like that? You could do that. And I'd like to see more tag teams be developed as well. I mean, we have a lot of good ones. I mean, Raw, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the depth isn't there as well. Like on Raw right now, we don't really have a purebred babyface tag team. Well, we have Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan as tag champions, which, you know, it's all right. It's random, but that's not going to last too long, honestly, in my opinion. Robbie in the live chat says, when Big Cass is cleared to return, he should destroy the entire Cruiser division, reunite with Enzo, and run as a heel tag team. There's plenty of potential. I fully agree. You know, at this point, you know, Enzo's gone off, you know, to the Cruiserweight division, and he's shown ways he can find ways to, you know, succeed, you know, become a champion and whatnot, despite the fact that he's cheating and pulling heel tactics. He's succeeding in some ways. And let's say Big Cass comes back and sees that and says, you know, Enzo, you proved me wrong. You actually can do this. Pretty much, they can reunite as a heel tag team. Despite the fact that it's not quite, it's Vince, you know, having them in a different vision, you know, not transitioning over to what was made them very popular down on NXT onto the main roster, then instead of making, you know, Enzo especially like a complete annoying little brute that gets laid out by Rusev in hotels. Because again, I can't help but feel that, you know, the stuff that Big Cass said when he turned on Enzo, I couldn't help but say he's telling the truth. That's all completely true, even though I was not for them breaking them up how they did. But the way they did it, you know, everything in the story was all true. It didn't do any good favors for either one of them, really. I mean, you know, I'm sure they had big plans with Big Cass if he didn't get hurt, but like his match with Big Show at SummerSlam, no. The match they had in the main event of Raw in Pittsburgh on July 31st, no, it didn't work. Not at all. That feud was disappointing. I was hoping it would have been like, you know, how it was with Big Show and Braun Strowman, but that was not the case. So yeah, like them reuniting, like, honestly, I keep saying this. I really thought, despite the fact it's worked out very well for Cesaro and Sheamus, you know, turning heel and becoming a full heel tag team, I really felt that it was going to be Enzo and Cass turning heel on the Hardy Boys after WrestleMania. Because again, I felt that, you know, the club, terrible tag champions. Cesaro and Sheamus, yes, they were still being both good, but, you know, they were like, you know, like the wild card tag team, I felt, or the dark horse tag team in that tag title match. Like, I felt that it was Enzo and Cass's time, and them turning heel could have made sense because the Hardy Boys just walked in and took their opportunity. Like, you know, they didn't get to prove to the Hardy Boys that, hey, we could have actually beaten you guys or whatever. So I felt that they should have been the ones turning heel instead of Cesaro and Sheamus, but I can't say that it was a bad idea for Cesaro and Sheamus. But yeah, I think it should have been Enzo and Cass. And also, another thing about Cesaro and Sheamus, I've been hearing rumors that the reason why they really are having this tag team, the bar with Cesaro and Sheamus, is because of Sheamus being limited due to his spinal stenosis. If that's the case, like, you know, Edge couldn't wrestle with spinal stenosis. Stone Cold Steve Austin was extremely limited. If you're going to have him to stick around just being tag titles and then just, you know, hold back Cesaro from getting his singles push, as I've heard rumors of, then no offense, but like Sheamus has to go then, because I don't want him to, you know, be put in a wheelchair. And plus, too, if it's really, you know, hurting, you know, the career of Cesaro as well, why, you know, have him stick around? Like, if anything, at least, like, you know, keep them together if they're not going after the tag titles, and have, like, you know, Sheamus be like, you know, the guy, like his Sami Zayn pretty much, and like, you know, just interfering in matches and all the time and helping Cesaro get like anything to help Cesaro. Well, I don't want Cesaro to be a chicken shit heel either. I don't want him to be that. But there's anything to get Cesaro a world title opportunity. Just please, just do it. But just don't keep them just, you know, just having in tag title matches just because of Sheamus being limited and someone to do what he does. But just, you know, I just worry that he's going to, you know, be paralyzed. They have to be in a wheelchair. Robbie also mentioned in the live chat, how about Big Cass versus Braun Strowman in the future? Sure. You know, I'm sure it can work. It will work. Well, hopefully it will work. Didn't work out with Big Show, but I like to see it, give it a try. But I know, like, I've been heard ever since Enzo and Cass did come to the main roster, they've always said how Vince does see big things for Big Cass. Well, obviously because he's 7 feet tall. How you doing? But yeah. So I would definitely like to see that match happen as well. Big Cass versus Braun Strowman. Let me see here. That, for the most part, personally, I answered, you know, what would I like to see the WWE do in 2018? Imagine Cesaro versus Pete Dunne for the UK title. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what I'd rather want to see more. That or Cesaro versus Tyler Bate. One of those two I would love to see. The two best in the United Kingdom division going at it would be pretty awesome, I feel. But yeah, I mean, if there really isn't any more questions for now, I'd say I will go with the last question I have listed here from TN Couponer, which is going to tie into, how I wanted to end this video to begin with in the first place. Just talking about, my goals for the future of this channel as well. And like, how it kind of is tying in with, what's going on outside of my YouTube life as well. Name one of your goals for 2018. So let me just take a little bit of a step back here. Well, not really a step back here, but let me take opportunities just to open up a little bit more here. And not just be the Club of the Man 1993 and be Mike. Just open up a little bit and just express, how, talk about, a really important thing I do, think about a lot in life. I've realized, especially since high school, participating in sports, like I was a runner in cross country, or like, I did karate for 10 years and whatnot, and just, a bunch of other things that they stress. It's a lot more important to, besides, being, physically, capable, to be mentally capable also as well. And I feel like, for years of being involved, like, physical activity, such as, again, running, which I still try to get out and just go for a run here and there, go for a walk here and there. And then, cross country, karate as well, which, just, it helped me think a lot. And when I got to college and I felt like I was a little bit more limited and I couldn't do as much of that stuff outside, which, I stopped doing karate right at the end of my senior year of high school. Well, it wasn't because I wanted to, it's because there was some issues going on in the system. By the time things were figured out, I'm like, hey, I'm going off to college now. I can't stick around anymore. I'm sorry. And like, I just didn't have enough time to do as much things. I lived at home while I was in college. I still live at home right now. I haven't moved out of my house yet. I worked like 28 hours a week at Burger King for like 2.5 years. That was quite a joy. And try to think, what else did I really do here? What else did I really do this? Did I do in college? But it's like I was busy, and like in some ways, like I felt like one thing that if I could fix one thing in my college experience, I wish I would have been a little bit more involved than I was. And the problem I think was because I didn't live on campus. I didn't, get to, experience college life as much as, I felt like I wanted to. Like I got involved a little bit with like, the TV station when I went to college, but not as much as I probably hoped to. I mean, I did take part in, operating cameras and was floor directing at a weekly show that was, pre-taped and then someone else edited it. I did participate in a live broadcast of like a 4-hour broadcast of a live election for the governor of Pittsburgh back in my junior year as well. I participated in that. But I felt like, I wish I would have gotten a little bit more time there. And because of that, I felt like, I didn't like, sit down at times and just, again, like I said before, I like to sit down just, think things out a little bit more than I did. And I'm not saying that, I'm not happy, where I'm at right now. Like, I have a great family. I have a lot of good going for me right now. I've had a good year with my job. But I would say one disappointment I've had in 2017 is that I didn't quite get as far in my independence as I hoped I would. I guess I was hoping, maybe I could have, owned a vehicle, or maybe, been looking to move out into my own place or something like that. And I will be honest, there's times where it takes a little bit of a toll on me. I'm not trying to bring some baggage into like this world that I don't really want to. It's just it's all tying into, my goal for 2018 as far as, my personal life and for my goals for this channel eventually. Because I really didn't think I was going to be able to do as much on this channel this year as I did. But again, with the live streaming and the friends I made, just trying to help me and doing other things, I was able to still sit down and just make time for me. So something I've always been good with too, is making time. But I do remember, I do deal with some things outside as well. I had, there's sometimes I work with people who just don't want to do their part in the job, and I can't finish my part in the job until that happens, until they do their part. And I was getting pretty irritated about it at times. And I remember like October was pretty busy. There was just a lot going on there. And some things did happen along the way. I don't really want to talk about too much involved. I mean, nothing like, like bad happening, like deeply bad to me, but some stuff that, like, you know, I had to make some changes too. I do remember there was a time at the beginning of November where I did almost say I need to take a break from this channel, but I didn't want to, because I just wanted to keep going and to do what I wanted to, what I do. But I'm still just trying to figure things out right now, like independently. You know, I'm 24 years old. I'm sure there's a lot of people still my age, you know, who just aren't quite, you know, where they want to be right now. And I'm not quite there either. But I'm still able to just sit down sometimes, just be grateful and thank God for, you know, where I'm at. You know, I got to, you know, work 18 weddings this year. I'm almost done editing them all. I got to, you know, work other gigs here and there. I got to, you know, help out some people. You know, again, as I mentioned earlier, there was a YouTuber gamer who messaged me asking me, you know, hey, you know, how did you make those custom levels for Wolfenstein 3D? You know, I need some help. I was able to help him. He never posted any videos for them, but I felt good that, you know, I was still able to help him. You know, my clients, you know, earlier this year, I was thrown into, I have times this year cleaned up other people's messes that I didn't even make. And I was able to, you know, I'd say all except for like maybe like one or two things, being able to fulfill their request. I got to travel down to Washington, D.C. The first time I'd ever traveled by myself, like that far with nobody else, drove and everything, taking the Beltway on 495, which is terrifying to drive in my opinion. But I got to, you know, just explore. I got to do a lot of things this year. And yes, there have been some downsides this year, but it's that, and, you know, the fact here on YouTube, as I mentioned earlier also, when I first came on here, I just wanted to, you know, just doodle around, do whatever the heck I wanted to. You know, I post some crazy crap. That some stuff I've kept, some stuff I've deleted, but I didn't have much of a structure. And then, you know, I started, you know, seeing, you know, video gamers again who, you know, I'm like, oh, I want to play that mod also. You know, I definitely didn't do it, you know, the best way. Filming screen recording, I didn't know much about that time, but I eventually learned how that. And then And then when I first started getting into wrestling, and I started checking people who did wrestling videos, and it inspired me to try doing stuff myself. And then at first, I'm like, you know, I don't want to look like I'm copying anybody else. I want to do just something myself. But, you know, the more I saw people doing things, the same things that I was inspired to do, the more I felt I should try it out too. And that's why I tried doing my live stream this year, as I said, which have been pretty good. Again, I get to chat with guys like, you know, Robbie or Gene or Dan or Josh or anybody else who just want to come on my live streams and just chat with. And I have a blast doing it. Again, as I said earlier, I went from 374 subscribers and I had ended up with 816. I didn't expect to get that many subscribers this year. And again, as I say too, you know, I may not have like a clean structure to my channel. I may do a bunch of random crap sometimes, but I still appreciate all of the support I always get on this channel. And it makes me want to, you know, keep thinking outside the box. Like, okay, what else can I do? I've fully grown to more realize that, you know, even though I don't do as much, I'm not into martial arts anymore. You know, I still run, but not as often as I do. I'm not as involved with physical activities as I used to be. But it still made me realize that, you know, even though I'm trying to get myself out to doing more of that stuff again, you know, just, you know, structuring this channel has also allowed me to, you know, think more critically also, and help me grow more as a person, to think more outside the box, which is what's going to bring me to my goal for 2018. The word I'm going to use for 2018 for myself, both here on YouTube and in my personal life, is to expand. I want to, you know, again, I like what I do for a career right now, but, you know, I want to expand more. I want to do more than just, you know, weddings. I want to start doing, you know, more, you know, promotional stuff. I do some stuff to come my work, but, you know, look like other companies too. You know, I'm an independent contractor. I can, you know, work, you know, multiple positions. I can be self-employed. I want to try to purchase some more equipment, which I have like, you know, my editing software. I'd like to get like, you know, After Effects. That way I can mess around more with like, you know, special effects and whatnot. I want to, you know, I have my green screen already. I have like, you know, a couple lav mics, but I just want to look to just continue just to expand. You know, by the end of 2018, you know, maybe I will be able to get to where I wanted to be this year independently. But I get my days again where I say, where I do sit down and I feel like, you know, God, like, do you hate me or something? Like, why are you having me in this position? But, you know, I'm still grateful for everything I have. And I've been grateful I've been able to have the experience I've been having here on YouTube, the friends I've made as well. And again, it was still a good year for me. I'm not gonna say, you know, my disappointment for not getting as far independently in life as I wanted to didn't happen. But it was still a great year, and I can walk on 2017 and say, yeah, I had a good year. It was very successful. Let me see here. Let me see here. Robbie said, so Mike, where are you going to get the key? When are you going to get the keys for the house that AJ Styles built for SmackDown? Be part of their creative team, be a part of their, technical team and whatnot. Sure, I guess I could go for that someday. I don't know. I remember in one of my video classes, one of my professors did mention, people who, talk about, where you're going to be working for your careers down the line. Some people, I remember some people saying, who want to travel a lot and be on crew for WWE. He says, I work people who absolutely hate being on crew for it because, the time frame, the travel schedule. And I'm sure also if any of them, are, working behind the scenes, the writers, and dealing with Vince McMahon, even though some of the writers themselves can't come up with anything ingenious anyways, we can get in there. Like, I get in there, you can get in there, Robbie, for your dream to, be a writer as well. I could be, doing camera operating as well, or, I have some experience, doing some, operating, studio equipment, being, a technical director and whatnot. I could do that as well. Who knows? We'll see what happens down the line. But, yes, we'll get inside and get the house that AJ Styles built. And one more time, as Robbie suggested, for old time's sake, 2017, let's end by having some crispy, tangy, honey mustard barbecue flavor. You're talking about chicken, aren't you? I actually had some wings last night, but it was just I wasn't really that hungry. We were out visiting some family, and then my dad wanted to get a gyro, and I just wasn't that hungry, so I just stopped and I just grabbed like a small handful of just plain wings on the way home. But yeah, I have. Let me see here. I got quite a few Buffalo Wild Wings gift cards for Christmas. I definitely got to get out and treat myself to some again. I had some the other week because my sister and I went out to have lunch together when she was home for the holiday. And yes, the Four Horsemen of the YWC taking over WWE. Yes. Okay, we think. Okay, Robbie's a writer. I'm part of the production. Dan's on commentary. Crap. What would Gene be doing? Gene be backstage interview or whatnot. I think he would be good with that. Or who else? Where else could Gene go? Would be? He could be Stone Cold Steve Austin having his own podcast as well. Like that. Gene deserves some big position though as well. Let's give TN Coupon or something as well. TN Coupon does a lot of advertising and whatnot. He can come up with some better ideas for promotions for WWE besides Colonel Sanders commercials or Sonic commercials or something. There's something as well. But yeah, I think that we'll pretty much do it for this stream. This was my my channel review. I got everything accomplished, and I talked about everything that happened this year on my channel. Got to answer some good questions from Dan, Robbie, and TN Couponer. Thank you again for leaving your questions as well. Robbie, for all of your comments in the live chat as well. And again, I've had an awesome year. I'm hoping to, have another even great year in 2018. More live streams, my Horseman Brothers. Again, the word of my year is expand. I want to expand in 2018. And my channel, 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal for subscribers. I want to get 1,000 subscribers. I have 816 now. Let's see if I can get to 1,000 this year. And just keep doing some live streams with my YouTube friends as well. And just keep going and just, taking the next steps to my life. I'll be 25 next year. I'm hoping to, continue to get somewhere. Again, I got somewhere this year, not as far as I wanted to, but I still got somewhere. So you know what? I'm gonna still walk out with 2017 with my head held high as I did in 2016 as well. It has my ups and downs this year, but it was still a great year. So thank you guys again for everything this year. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support I got. If you have any thoughts on anything I talked about, or if you have any other questions I'd like to ask me, just leave it down there. The next Q&A I probably will do is when I get to 1,000 subscribers. For today and tomorrow, if I do any more Shabs 2000, I'll probably be posting that. But other than that, this is the last live stream for the year. I will be live on Monday night for my live Raw review, Tuesday for my live SmackDown review, and Wednesday night for my live NXT review. And just stay tuned to what's coming to this channel. We go on to the road to Royal Rumble, and we start to a fresh new year. I hope you guys as well have an awesome New Year's Eve as well. Do whatever you do. I'm just going to be just relaxing with my family and whatnot, just having a good old time. They still have a couple little, things I want to do for the Christmas holiday that I'm going to be doing that, couldn't happen, this week, but we're going to be doing next week as well. So to me, I have one more week left for Christmas, my honest opinion, because to me, I consider Christmas over whenever the Epiphany happens. The Feast of the Epiphany, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday happens. So I'm trying to do my last week of the Christmas holiday and then just, moving on to, start 2018 on a very fresh note. So as always, guys, please click that like and subscribe for more content to come on this channel. You may also follow me on Twitter, as always, at DaManAirboy93. Just stay tuned for much more things to come on this channel as well. And again, I thank everybody again this year. Again, you know, specific names, you know, Daniel Gaiza, Rago and Kenobi, Gene from the BSP Wrestling Show. You know, you guys are definitely, you know, three of my closest friends I made this year, my Horseman brothers. I have a blast, you know, doing our streams together, just talking about all the shenanigans, ripping on the little things, you know, come up with these freaking crazy catchphrases and whatnot. You know, the live chats I get from, you know, T and Couponer, Lauren Hutton recently, also a Lunatic Cringe, also another person I forgot to give a shout out to. He has participated in some of my live streams as well. Hassan the Mighty, who does comment on a lot of my Turn Alert videos. Again, my gaming people who I've you know met through my gaming videos. You know, Mountain D18, Lightning Bolt Forever, Joshua Eck. Again, I wish Big Mac Day was the best. I hope he's doing all right. I haven't seen him post in over a year on his channel. I think who else I missed here. Ling Yang 203 for, you know, you inspired me to try a lot more Wolfenstein mods in the upcoming year as well. I have my list ready for that stuff as well. And of course, you know, like people like the Lexman also, you know, I've communicated with him like maybe like once or twice, you know, he's like answered a comment or something, or a tweet this year. You know, he has put his whole heart to everything he does as well. I've watched some Saw Monster, not as much as like the Lexman, like, you know, my Horseman brothers, but there's a lot of people out there, you know, I just want to thank for just inspiring me to, you know, just to try new things on this channel and just, you know, continue to, you know, have it grow and, you know, and whatnot. So again, I'm going to check it out now. Thank you guys for tuning into this live stream. For the questions that were left as well, and just again for your continued support, and cheers to a great year in 2018. And to all the acquaintance be forgot, thank you again, everybody. I'll see you next year.